Tay, we said if we built it, they would come. And look, the amphibians have come. This is a lovely clump of frogspawn. And you can see the young tadpoles are developing there. They're not the little circles that you get when it's fresh. Well, these ones are slightly smaller here, look.
Yeah, they look like they'll be long hatching.
No, they're almost ready to go. What about that?
It's really nice. It's like really good news, and it's not just this pond. I've been round and kind of looked at all the different ponds, and they're on most of the ponds.
Are they?
Yeah.
It's fantastic. So those that hold water, because we don't know yet whether they are going to hold water, but if they hold water for the next 3 months, it might get froglets out.
You get froglets.
Yes, good, isn't it? So good. I love frogspawn. Look at that. Amazing. Protected in its little gelatinous coat whilst they grow. But you're right, it's only going to be a couple of days, isn't it? The water, I have to say, is very cold, and that will influence their speed of development.
Yeah, I just hope that there's plenty of food in there for them to thrive. I mean, there's a lot of kind of grass that's gotten submerged. It'll all be rotting down. That's what they'll be eating. So yeah, they should be well.
Fantastic, absolutely fantastic. I'm so pleased. Right, frogspawn, beavers.
The natural progression, of course.
I don't recall the lodge being here. I thought the lodge was round the corner.
It was over there. Yeah. Well, as you're very well aware, it's been quite a wet winter, and so the river has spent quite a lot of time way up. And their old lodge was perfect summer lodge. It was, right by the water's edge. But when that river came up, it kind of flooded them out of their old lodge. So they've started building a new one here, which is it's sometimes, like today, I think it's probably not submerged, and then at some points it is. Whether they'll stay here or not, I don't know. But basically, they're creating a lodge here.
It could be just a winter one, away from where that's going to be, totally submerged.
A bit safer from the changing water levels.
Yeah, I wonder if they have to do that on an annual basis.
Yeah, it's a lot of work, isn't it?
It is a lot of work, and the work that you've done during the summer is totally washed away in the winter.
Yeah.
We always think of them as sort of permanent structures, and some of them are. They last for hundreds of years, don't they? Yeah.
And then sometimes I guess when you're in a very spate-prone river like this,
yeah,
they've got to adapt. So that's what they're doing.
Okay. Whereabouts are we?
So I don't know if it's like an old fox den or something.
Right.
There's a hole here.
Yeah.
And a couple of holes were down here.
Yeah.
And they started to block up the holes.
So the beavers have done this?
The beaver, yeah, look, they've brought in these sticks, and they were just kind of plopping them on top of this hole.
Yeah.
And they've done the same down here as well.
Do you think they're in this bank then?
I think they're probably in here, yeah.
Under us?
Yeah. I think this may well be an old fox den, maybe a badger set, something like that, but they've repurposed it to...
What about that? But as you say, they've got about a meter's today. They've got about a meter's clearance on the water, haven't they?
Yeah. And I've had the camera traps on it for a couple of weeks now. Sometimes it does come up and lap at the edges of it, but it doesn't submerge it like it did the other ones.
Okay, well, let's see what we've got on the cameras then.
Yeah.
God, that's amazing. Yeah.
It's weird.
I'm not being funny, but if you didn't know there were beavers here, you'd think that either that was left by the Spating River, or, kids had put it there, or something like that.
Yeah. It's.
You can see they've chewed it, to be fair, by looking at the edges of it there.
And obviously they've not fully managed to
seal it
in. So I don't know if you put like a camera down there, you might be able to see a beaver. I don't know how far it goes back.
Yeah, I wonder how far it does.
Yeah.
Like you say, if it's a fox earth
in progress.
Fox earths, if they dig them themselves, are really more than a couple of meters, maybe 3 meters max, really.
Beavers may be extending.
Yeah, they could be.
Who knows what
could be. Yeah.
But obviously in the summer they probably wouldn't bother with this one because it is going to be out of the water.
Yeah, but the river's going to be all the way down there, so they're not going to like that, are they?
No. So it's an interesting one. Not really seen anything like it before, but...
Okay, you get the card, I'll get the laptop. What do we got then? Have you peeped at these?
I've only looked at them on the camera screen, so I have no idea really. A rat.
A rat, a brown rat. They like waterways, brown rats, don't
They
they?
do, yeah.
Good swimmers. A grey squirrel.
Grey squirrel.
Not renowned for their love of waterways,
No, but they like a tree.
but ubiquitous.
Ah.
Well, there we are. We had a great view of the tail. So that's the bank just here then, is it?
Yeah, it's just down amongst all them trees there. And he's gone in.
It's gone in, you see. Yeah. Well, it can't be a small space if there's room for
There's room for
one
at least
beaver.
one beaver. That it
Or
wasn't.
tadpoles.
Yeah, and that wasn't a small beaver either. I don't think.
No.
Another
brown
rat. Could be the same one.
It's on his daily jaunt past the beaver lodge.
So the beavers aren't using it regularly yet. I don't think, but
I actually wonder where they are then.
yeah.
Right.
What are they doing?
Where do they go? I mean, other animals, obviously, that are displaced would just go and find a thick bramble bush and climb into the middle of it and maybe make a grassy nest. Oh, look there. You can see the sticks they hold up.
They're starting to do things, aren't they?
Yeah. I wonder if they're not in there. Where are they now?
Maybe there's multiple of these all the way along the riverbank. Maybe there's old otter halts
Yeah.
even that they might be going in. Rats.
Rat.
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 Rat. Squirrel. Is he going in?
Sticking its nose outside the beaver lodge. No. Merely sniffing.
Rat. Rat.
Getting ratted out here. We're going to get a bit ratty, actually. And it's a
Rat. It's a rat. That looks like a rat, that does.
that looks like the backside of a rat.
Yeah, I reckon that was probably a rat.
Here we are. Not a rat, not a squirrel. Undeniably a beaver.
Yeah, you can tell by the tail.
Cracking view of the tail there. Look at that.
Always doing some little bit of digging.
Digging the mud. Because they use the mud, obviously, to make their dams and their lodges.
Yeah.
Pack it in, don't they? Like wattle and daub. Look at that.
Oh, a bit of...
Edging it with his back feet.
That was nice.
He's an artisan. It's an artisan beaver. He should open a shop in Islington.
So he's doing the same.
Look at that. Well, I've never seen them doing that before.
It's nice. And look at the size of that back foot.
Yes, you would see the huge webbing there. What about that?
That's more like it.
Yeah.
See, I was trying to be too clever with my camera positioning.
Digging the mud.
Scrabbly little hands.
Yeah.
And off into the water. It's different. I think there's been two. This one's bigger.
That's definitely bigger.
So that I think is an adult.
That's Beaverzilla.
And this is
one of the youngsters.
young. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe not a baby from
No.
last year, but maybe year before.
Yeah, that's significantly smaller. You can see there. First one's that's another
Little handful of
mud.
mud and sticks.
Oh, honestly. Not a handful of dust, but a handful of mud. Carrying it off presumably up to the bank.
Yeah, the new lodge is
Yeah.
here.
Hack it in amongst
Pack it in, yeah.
the sticks that it's put there to give it strength. What about that? Proper beaver behaviour. That looks like a bigger one.
That does look like a bigger one. Doesn't want
Interesting that it's not so, even though there may not be much space in here, There's definitely more than one animal here. At least 2 animals active.
Yeah, all
They seem to be sharing the space.
Mm.
So there's still a sort of family unit going on.
There's
even
definitely a family unit.
Yeah.
And they will live as a family unit. You'll have the parents and various ages of offspring. That's our friend the rat.
It's our friend the rat. Not doing any moving of mud whatsoever. In fact, as rodents go, talentless.
Yeah, inferior.
Inferior, talentless. Yeah.
And again,
That's why I would never live in a rat's house, but I would happily ensconce myself in a beaver's lodge.
much cozier.
Yep. Oh,
Little roe deer.
roe deer. That's nice though.
And another
Oh, 2. Making their way down to drink, I guess. Or nibble.
nibble.
That looks like a youngster behind it, doesn't it?
It does.
Yeah, nibbling away, look, at the bramble. Lovely big black button nose.
A fox.
A fox. We couldn't see whether it came out of the hole or whether it came up from the bank.
I think it came up from the bank.
Yeah. I can't see a cohabitation.
Not with foxes and beavers, no.
Right.
I don't think the beavers would tolerate that. Magpie.
Magpie. Yeah. Beaver.
Yes.
Nothing.
T-Rex impression.
Yeah.
I think you may have heard the camera click.
So this is a view from the top of the bank.
So I put it on a tree just there.
Right.
And it just kind of looks down onto the bank. So there's like a little, I think I've moved it a couple times. So
Yeah.
I think the positioning's different every time, but it's essentially looking at the same thing. And another beaver. That one's bigger.
Mm. It's fox.
There's a fox.
Yeah, just on the woodland, on the stream edge there. Fox on the stream edge, looking for anything that's been washed up, I imagine. They are very strictly nocturnal, aren't they?
Beavers?
Yeah. I mean, in this spot.
In this spot at the moment, yeah, but in the summer, maybe not.
No, there's a shortage of daylight. But at the moment, they're definitely not emerging in the day.
They're not. No, we're not seeing beavers in the day.
It was in the evening, night. What do you think then? I concur entirely that this is a winter refuge, basically. Temporary winter refuge.
Yeah, for sure.
But it's interesting that there's more than one beaver appearing to use it.
At least 2. It was really hard to say.
Yeah.
They could be 3, could be 4, based on the size of them, it's difficult, but
But at least 2.
at least 2.
A full adult and a slightly smaller animal, and they've been investing time to build it.
They have. They've been digging. They've been bringing sticks in. They've been putting sticks in places. So, they are working on it. So, but I really don't think they will use it in the summer.
No, too far from the water. Interesting to think though that basically, whilst we sit here, 4 meters away, if we could poke through the soil, there might be leaving a sleeping beaver in that bank.
Or 2 beavers cuddled up in a nice little hole.
Don't. Beaver bliss.
Yeah.